Do you know that 85% of employees experience conflict at work?
According to CPP Global, over a third spend a significant amount of time managing disputes. Another third deal with conflict frequently. 27% of employees have actually witnessed conflict morph into personal attacks. And a quarter reported that avoiding conflict resulted in illness or taking time off from work. Workplace conflict is one of the most pressing issues for companies today, with serious consequences, significant costs, and damage to company culture.
There are two most common sources of conflict: relational and organizational. Relational conflicts arise among employees with different personalities, communication styles, or value systems. Research shows that 56% of surveyed employees deal with relational conflicts. If unresolved, they can lead to expensive consequences. In 2018, Tesla paid $137 million to an employee for a personal clash with coworkers. Organizational conflicts arise from its policies and procedures and ways they are communicated to employees. Competition for resources is one of the most common conflicts. The perceived preferential treatment of coworkers getting better benefits, salary, bonuses, or even better office space causes resentment, anger, loss of commitment, and decreased performance. In 2018, when Amazon raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour and cut bonuses and stock options, a perception of injustice from some employees arose toward the company. They felt betrayed that some employees were being treated better at the cost of their own resources. Poor communication is a factor in organizational conflict. In 2021, when the software company Basecamp suddenly announced controversial changes to company policy, the announcement was met with major backlash from employees who felt that they had not been consulted in advance. This led to some employees resigning and many more publicly criticizing the company on social media. During the pandemic of 2020, due to communication failures, many healthcare workers reported feeling overwhelmed and uncertain about how to provide care to patients in the midst of rapidly changing guidelines and protocols. Additionally, the stress on healthcare workers was compounded by the conflict that arose from inadequate resources. There was a lack of preparedness and insufficient resources, resulting in further burnout and the loss of many critical healthcare workers. How does all this affect the company's bottom line? Workplace conflicts waste approximately 3 hours per week per employee, estimated to be 385 million work hours every year, equaling nearly $359 billion in paid hours. And that is not all. Think about the direct and indirect costs. It can cost an average of $160,000 per claim, with 76% of cases resulting in no payment from insurance, placing the burden directly on the organization. Research shows that unhappy or stressed employees take more time off from work, which costs the organization 50% more in healthcare expenses. They are also more likely to quiet quit or experience presentism, showing up to work when they're ill, unfit, or unmotivated to give their 100%, negatively affecting team productivity, performance, and engagement. Gallup estimates that as much as $359 million per year is lost in productivity, and about $3,400 out of every $10,000 in paid salary per employee is lost due to disengagement and low employee morale. And about 50% of employees voluntarily leaving their jobs are traced to unresolved conflict in the workplace. The bottom line is, workplace conflicts are very costly for companies. The root cause of workplace conflicts is the loss of connection between coworkers. Humans are social bonding creatures, and they need to have connection in order to survive and thrive. Recent neuroscience research has highlighted the consequences of isolation and loss of social connection, triggered the brain into a type of panic mode called a separation distress that leads some people to become more demanding, critical, and judgmental, and others to disengage, distance, and avoid, which triggers a negative cycle of interaction. This continuous loop of negative cycles causes workplace conflicts to perpetuate and spread among coworkers, creating further disconnections and distress, damaging relationships and culture. The first step in paving a path to reconnection is awareness. Your awareness will allow you to keep the small spark of workplace conflicts from turning into a raging inferno. To learn more about how you can resolve workplace conflicts, Set up a productivity recovery assessment with us today. And remember, emotional connection is the most effective way to take care of the teams you care about.